Welcome to this episode of the People Dividend. On this episode and the next two episodes airing at the back half of March 2025, I'd like to continue to discuss with you concepts from the People Dividend. And today, specifically, I want to speak on the untapped potential that exists in the modern workplace. So once again, welcome to the People Dividend. I'm your host, Mike Horne. And I want to acknowledge everyone who's listening today. Thank you, returning listeners. Thank you, new listeners. Thank you, listeners who have been on board since the People Dividend launched recently. I am Mike Horne. I am a coach and consultant. I work in executive development and organization development. I do three things. I offer three services to my clients. The first is executive coaching. So this is for owners, founders, leaders in the C-suite, aspirants to the C-suite. I offer 3, 6, and 12-month coaching programs. I also do leadership development for my clients, leadership development programs. And these usually run from 6 to 18 months, and they come in all sorts of flavors and shapes depending on the client. And the third thing that I offer are organization development services. I'm leveraging my expertise in the field. Recently completed recently completed a project redesigning an R&D department for a major medical device company. Also worked on the onboarding of a new executive for several months. So I'm so glad. I mean, my work has been all about humanizing big business practices, shaping workplaces that thrive. And I hope that you'll find, if you haven't already picked up a copy of the People Dividend, Leadership Strategies to Unlocking Employee Potential, I hope that you do, because I think it's a guide that's just packed with so many actionable leadership strategies. At least this is what I've heard, to unlocking employee potential. And often that's the potential within yourself or with the person who's standing right in front of you. Let's talk about what is an overlooked truth in business. I mean, all of us know the pace of business today. It's numbers driven, it's fast, it happens at the speed of light. This is the reality of modern business. And what I sometimes found working in big and small organizations is that in these efforts to produce revenues and to produce speed and quality, that I was just often a cog in the wheel, and I felt overlooked or undervalued. Sometimes I'd go to these weekly one-on-ones with my manager, and despite them being very pleasant, I don't think there was ever a real interest in my career, what I was doing. And it certainly was frustrating. And I think I probably behaved in the same way as a manager at times. And so I think that there was, periods of time, whether it was early career, late career, it is about this experience that we have with managers. But I always wanted to contribute more, but felt that my potential wasn't being tapped. And I think this happens again and again. I think I suffered the same ill as a manager. So remember, there's this dual perspective that we have, both as an employee who's overlooked by the manager, and later as a manager who unintentionally did the same thing. So what happens as a result of this, if it happens over and over and over again? It probably creates a culture of burnout. It's certainly one of disengagement, because what happens is that a system of task is prioritized over people. And all of us who have been at this business know that we need a good blend of task and process. We need to have what, and we need to have how. We need to have a little more what when we're a new team and a little less how, so that we can really begin to yield the people dividend, the potential that comes from investing in people with dignity, kindness, and respect. All of us know the cost of poor management. If you've been managed by several, you will know that workplace neglect of talent isn't just an individual issue, but it's a systemic issue. And when neglect of talent, or let's say it in other words, talent doesn't align with business strategy, these are systemic issues that damage morale, productivity. Let's sum it up in the big word of engagement. In the People Dividend, I pointed out a couple of statistics and facts. One is from a Gallup report that shows that 85% of employees are disengaged or actively disengaged. Having lots of experience with Gallup surveys, this is frightening. We also know about what happened earlier about quiet quitting and its impact on organizational continuity and costs. And we know that many employees who quietly quit now feel dissatisfied with their secondary job choice. So we have to think about more about respect and dignity in the modern workplace. Okay, we have all of these things at work. We have the permanence of variable work locations. We have the advance of the gig economy. More people put together more jobs differently, careers differently. In fact, as I understand, average tenure is only 4 years now. So even whether you think about gig as having multiple jobs, or whether you think about gig as having less than 5-year stays in organizations, this is certainly what we think about in terms of gig economies. So we've got all this stuff underway, multiple generations in the workforce, that we need to think about respect and dignity, simple acts of kindness, simple acts of recognition. Because when we don't have engagement, we build all these invisible barriers that impact effective teams, retention, and innovation. So let's begin to talk about the simplicity of the solution with the People Dividend and how you can yield the benefits of the People Dividend. The simplicity of the solution is that solving this problem doesn't require a complete organizational overhaul. We don't have to tinker with purpose, leadership, reward structures, and other factors all at once. The remedy is something that you as a manager, that we can encourage with our colleagues, that you can start today, is to listen, to show respect, to acknowledge the contributions of others. And what we do is this introduces the concept of the People Dividend that's described in the book. And these dividends manifest themselves in better culture, higher engagement, improved financial results. If you go to chapter 3 of the book about valuing individuals and individualism, because I think we need to hold both constant, I argue the importance of seeing employees as unique, whole individuals, not just as a series of interchangeable cogs. And all of us have examples, as I point out in the book, of my own example of a leader who transforms a workplace through the creation, the replication of small human-centered interactions that result in this People Dividend. So what's important for us, listeners? Well, once again, is for me to thank you for tuning into the People Dividend. But again, if you haven't already picked up a copy of the People Dividend, pick it up on Amazon. The book offers a deeply personal yet practical framework for you to help you make meaningful changes in how you manage people. You can find it on Amazon. That's the best place to get it. If you're interested in a bulk purchase, please let me know. If you want to buy it for 50 people, 100 people, please let me know. I'd also encourage you to, reflect now on whether they're overlooking talent in your organizations, and to take the first step to change if you are. So once again, please, I invite you to pick up the People Dividend, Leadership Strategies for Unlocking Employee Potential. It will give you lots of ways to explore our themes, the themes that we've talked about today: the simplicity of the solution, the cost of poor management, and the overlooked truth of business. This is all about the untapped potential in the modern workplace. I hope you join me on the next episode. I'm doing these back to back as we sort of wrap up the first quarter of the launch of the People Dividend. So in the next episode, I'm going to talk more about the the People Dividend, particularly in terms of what it means to embrace human-centric leadership. So I hope you'll join me. I always value your listenership, your watch on YouTube. Thank you so much. And until the next episode of the People Dividend in this special two-part series, stay well.